Ladies and gentlemen, children of the interwebs out there, Sebastian Envy, the strong style nerd, strong style cinephile. No more Crisis episodes for the rest of the decade. Luckily, we're so close to 2020, right? Crisis on Infinite Earths continued to raise the stakes for our heroes and left them with more Earths dead, heroes dead, and seemingly in a no-win situation, and that is how it should be. So let us geek about that for a scant few minutes. Opens up with us finally getting the Huntress, but of course we know it's not Jessica DeGal reprising her role. No, this was Ashley Scott of the Accursed Earth 203, where the CW's first attempt at a live-action Birds of Prey happened. We see the Huntress in her jacket doing her rooftop parkour, talking to Oracle about the antimatter wave just before being wiped out. The best thing this crisis could have done was take out that Earth. On the Wave Rider, help arrives in the form of Cisco, Killer Frost, and Ralph. Cisco's there to help Ray with his Paragon detector, while Ralph fangirls out over the gathered heroes, to which Killer Frost offers a very meta, it's his first crossover. Using the Paragon detector, the final three Paragons are identified as Sean, Barry, and an Ivytown physics professor, and Ray Palmer fanboy, Ryan Choi. Diggle arrives on the ship, and he is not happy with Sarah for Oliver's current condition, as well as the monitor for what happened to both Oliver and Lila, who has gone MIA. Of course, we know where Lila is from the closing moments of the last episode and her encounter with the Anti-Monitor. Cisco discovers that the source of the antimatter wave is under Central City. He's about to move out to check it out when the Monitor pops up and, despite Cisco's protest, restores his vibe powers. It just gives me more fuel to the fire to think that his storyline over the last season and him wanting to give up his powers is just stupid to me, because he's doing the exact same thing he was doing with powers, kind of sitting on the sidelines until it comes time to breach somebody from here or there. It's stupid. Him hemming and hawing over his powers is just dumb. And the fact that he's, like I said, doing the same thing, and the fact he was about to rush out there facing the apocalypse with no powers, it's just dumb. And I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't like it. I really want Cisco's character to get written off the show. I was hoping it would happen last season. It didn't. I'm hoping maybe coming out of the crisis, it could happen. Crossing my fingers. Now, it takes Vibe's powers to break into the bunker hideout thing that we saw Nash Wells get sucked into. He had to use Pariah's memories to figure out the combination with the little symbols and stuff. Inside, we find the source of the antimatter wave, an energy cannon that is being powered by a speedster on a cosmic treadmill, Earth 90's Flash. Back on the Wave Rider, Kate and Kara verbally spar over the idea of Kara trying to use the Book of Destiny to restore Earth 38 as well as the other Earths, citing the incredible danger to herself and to everyone else. Kate even contemplates using the kryptonite that she took from the other Earth when she encountered evil Batman to stop Kara from doing what she's contemplating doing. Meanwhile, the mission to get Oliver's soul back takes Diggle, Mia, and Constantine to Earth 666, and a favor from Lucifer Morningstar, Tom Ellis from the show Lucifer. Lucifer agrees because he owes John a favor. And back at the Anti-Monitor's place, Team Flash managed to get Earth 90 Barry Allen off the treadmill, though he wants to go back on it due to a failsafe that will cause the weapon to self-destruct and take out all worlds. A moment later strides in Black Lightning, disoriented and fresh from his world being torn asunder by antimatter. Jefferson is racked with pain over his family's demise, but pulls it together to help the other heroes. He uses his powers to contain the destructive force of the cannon, while the others figure out how exactly to stop it. Iris, Ralph, and Ray head to Ivytown to find Ryan Choi, who was reluctant to help at first, until a pep talk from Iris motivates him to get off the bench. Now, as the clock ticks away to destruction in Central City, the two Flashes enter Flash Time to figure out what to do. The answer: reverse the treadmill. Barry thinks this is it. This is his sacrificial moment that we've all been waiting for to happen since the pilot. It seems that way until Earth 90 Flash steals some of his speed to do it himself. And let's be real, in reality, we all knew it was going to be this Flash. He even notes that it said that the Flash has to die, but doesn't say which one. Now, Earth 90 Barry uses his speed, hops back on the treadmill, and they give us his theme song and a flashback from the old show, and kind of shows us that Barry Allen of Earth 90 married Tina McGee in the end, and in the end he ran himself into nothingness to save the last remaining Earth. For a few minutes anyway. We check back with the quest for Oliver's soul, which takes Diggle, Mia, and Constantine to Lian Yu, of course, purgatory, right? They find a bloodlust-filled Oliver, but manage rather quickly to talk him off the ledge. Now, as they prepare to leave, John Corrigan shows up and tells Oliver something different, that he's been called to a higher purpose to prevent all universes from ending. Oliver accepts his fate and then Mia and everyone else is teleported away. Back on the Wave Rider, folks are saddened to learn about the fate of Oliver and how he has chosen not to return back to the land of the living. Barry and Jefferson bond over their tragic childhoods with their fathers. Kate and Kara bond further, and Kate actually admits to Kara that she has the kryptonite, which Kara tells her to keep. Kara's kind of hurt at first that Kate has the kryptonite, but she decides to let her keep it anyway. It's kind of a nod to Batman and Superman and how Superman allows Batman to keep kryptonite on him just in case Superman ever goes dark, ever goes rogue, ever gets mind controlled and that sort of thing. So I think they're setting them up to have the kind of friendship that Bats and Supes have in the comics and have had in animated portrayals and that sort of thing. I think they're setting them up to be the new dynamic for the Arrowverse, for the crossovers going forth, because for all these crossovers thus far, the linchpin has been Oliver and Barry and their friendship. Now there's no more Oliver. So I think going forth it's going to be Kate and Kara, at least as long as Supergirl is still on the air. And who knows how long that will be. Isla returns to the Wave Rider, but the heroes soon find out all is not what it seems. The clue being Pariah, who is allowed to show up at a time of great tragedy. Lila states it's time to end the age of heroes and everything you hold close, before she uses powers to knock everyone out, and then setting her sights on Mar Novu. The Monitor tells Pariah that humanity's fate is in his hands and he would know what to do at the right time. Pariah figures this out and teleports the Paragons to the vanishing point, the place outside of space and time, just as the antimatter wave destroys the last remaining Earth. As the heroes try to collect their thoughts and deal with what just happened, Kingdom Dawn, or Superman, is racked with pain. He collapses and suddenly Lex Luthor emerges from him. Luthor apparently altered things using the Book of Destiny, saying Destiny could use a rewrite before smugly asking our heroes, what do we do now? So that was Crisis Part 3, leaving our minds blown at what we just saw. Every Earth gets wiped out. Of course, we know they're going to get brought back. So seeing Lex Luthor in this capacity gives more context to the scenes we saw in the trailer that had Lex amongst the heroes in the old rock quarry, if you're a fan of or familiar with Power Rangers or Super Sentai, when they have their little team-up crossovers between the Power Ranger teams, Super Sentai teams, they 9 times out of 10 take place in a big rock quarry for the final battle. And we saw from the trailer, Lex was in that scene running with the heroes towards what I presume to be the Anti-Monitor, who they'll battle in Part 4. Kind of makes sense as to why, because I was kind of wondering before, because we knew that Black Lightning was going to be in Part 3 as well as Part 5. I was kind of wondering why he wasn't in Part 4, but now we understand why. Part 4 is going to focus on the efforts of the remaining Paragons. I thought that Lex Luthor was just going to be a Paragon anyway, just outright, just for the drama's sake, the fact that he used the book to turn things into his favor. So typically Lex, not surprising in the least that he did that. I'm wondering kind of going forth what kind of complications that will present our heroes, and then what exactly is Lex's endgame, because he's going to have one. Like, what kind of power is he going to have? Definitely want to see more with him, because John Cryer is just turning this Lex into just a great Lex in his attitude, dialogue, delivery. Everything is just great. Again, I'm not a big fan of Batman, Superman, or any of their characters or supporting characters, a lot of their villains, especially for Superman, but I'm interested in kind of seeing what Cryer does with more material, more time, more screen time as Lex Luthor. We finally get what we've been wanting for years with Black Lightning crossing over with the other heroes. It's been long said that the creators of Black Lightning wanted Black Lightning to exist in his own space and just be his own thing. Of course, all of us over here in the Arrowverse are just been clamoring for him to be connected. Now we finally get that to happen. Credit to Cress Williams, because you could feel the pain in his voice when he was talking about Lynn and the girls just being gone. The bonding scene with Barry was nice, and it'll be fun to see kind of where things go with him going forward. Now we know, of course, his show is not ending, so his world is going to get restored. I'm wondering what's going to be the resolution of Crisis as a whole. How are the worlds going to be restored? Is it going to be one world, one shared world with everybody that's left, where they retain some memory of the Earths that they were on before? or is it going to be something different? Of course, they're not following Crisis beat for beat. They're taking the overall idea of it and then massaging it into what they've been doing thus far with their shows. And of course, we know from interviews and stuff that Guggenheim said to the showrunners, here, we're doing this. This is a chance for you to do some different things with your shows. So I'm wondering if they're going to take advantage of that fact to do some different things with their shows coming out of the Crisis. That's my thing, is just wondering what the long-term impact effect is going to be on the Arrowverse. I'm hoping, really hoping, for good creative things going forth. Brandon Routh has been a revelation as the, as I said, Kingdom Donner Superman, because it's a mix of Kingdom Come plus Donnerverse Superman, and it's been great. He makes a great Clark Kent. He makes a great Superman. He just happened to be stuck in a very, very crappy Superman movie. So seeing Brandon Routh getting his chance to play a proper Superman, channeling his inner Christopher Reeve as Clark, as Superman, just this, you can just get the vibe of Superman, this all-American truth, justice, the American way, never give up, fight to the end, fight for what's right sort of vibe from him. You get it in that little short speech that he makes, because when he comes back to the Wave Rider after failing to save an Earth, Lois asks him if he might want to take a rest. He's like, nope, gotta get back out there, gotta try to save more people. It's just the way he just conveys that air of Superman. It's great. I love Brandon Routh in this role. If we were to get another TV show of Superman with Brandon Routh as Superman, I would watch it. A lot of people have been kind of crapping on Tyler Hoechlin in light of seeing Welling again, in light of seeing Routh wearing the tights again, mostly because Hoechlin looks kind of puny compared to Routh and Welling. But I think Hoechlin has been rocking the material he's been giving. I'm curious as to the pilot for his show, the new Lois and Clark, what that will be. Oliver getting turned into the Spectre. I'm wondering how that's going to go, how that's going to impact the rest of the story, how that's going to impact restoring whatever order they're going to restore, because we know, I mean, there's got to be an Earth for these shows to exist on, so we know they're going to get restored. Again, does it go back to one Earth? Does it go back to multiple Earths again? Do we go to one Earth for a while and then we go to a smaller crossover next year, and then maybe another year or two after that, do we revisit recreating the multiverse? Who knows? But in this way, at least it gives Oliver a way to live on in the Arrowverse, to maybe pop up here or there as needed in his role as the Spectre. I think Lucifer's inclusion was like the worst kept secret. People totally were calling for it, and then I think news got out about it, but then they were trying to walk it back. But then, I mean, nobody believed that he wasn't going to be in it, which was cool to see his interaction with Constantine, his hitting on Mia, and just his brief bit was cool. I'm wondering kind of if there are any more cameos that we should expect. I know that we're going to get Stargirl in an upcoming episode. I wonder if we're going to get like an Endgame style final battle, again, in a rock quarry, because it provides that much room. And we get all the heroes just coming out and making a final stand against the Anti-Monitor and whatever sort of faceless CG army he's going to have battling against them. It was a good episode. I give it like a 8.5. No, 8 out of 10. It was a good episode. It raised the stakes. It to the highest that I guess that they can go, because there are no Earths left. There's like the 7 Paragons, or the 6 Paragons, and Paragon by Machinations, Lex Luthor. So that's the kind of setup you need to be. That's the kind of cliffhanger you need. Now we have a month to kind of go back, rewatch the other episodes, kind of let what's happened settle, to sit back, take a breath, and try to take stock of everything that happened, because it kind of hit us fast, but it was cool. It was fun. Gave us some fan service. Gave us some fun action, some cool character moments, some fun interactions we haven't seen before, and I'm anxious to kind of see where it goes. Like, ideally, I would have loved them to do a Crisis week, where 5 parts, 5 days of the week, and it's a Crisis week. But I'm okay with the way that they're doing it now. They definitely nail the crossovers. When they have them, they're fun. We get to see characters we don't normally see interact with each other, which I'm all for. And it's fun. It's good, clean, geeky comic book, over the top, fun. And I'm here for all of that. And those are some of my thoughts on it. More importantly, what do you guys out there think about the Crisis, how they've handled it so far? What do you think is going to happen in parts 4 and 5? What do you think are going to be the ramifications, the ripple effects for the rest of the Arrowverse going forward? Let me know in the comments below. Follow me on social media. Talk to me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Talk to me on this channel, man. This Crisis has been awesome thus far for what they've tried to do, taking such a important, historically important graphic novel and put their own spin on it for a historically important crossover. I think they've handled it well. Can't wait to see what they do next and what comes out of this. But until then, until more episodes of Crisis and the other things coming, let us geek.